let's get right to it. Can you really hack a website just by right-clicking and using Inspect Element? You might have heard stories about changing prices, headlines, or even your bank balance with a few clicks. It sounds like a digital cheat code, but is it real? Today, we're going to uncover the truth behind this so-called hack. Is it a gateway to online riches, or just smoke and mirrors? We'll break down what really happens when you use Inspect Element. By the end, you'll know exactly what's going on when you right-click and hit Inspect. Let's dive in and separate fact from fiction. Before we dive any deeper into the world of Inspect Element and all the cool things you can do with it, I need to hit pause for a moment and give you a very important disclaimer. One you absolutely shouldn't skip. First things first, using Inspect Element is not hacking. It's a tool built right into your browser, meant for developers, designers, and curious minds like you. It's completely legal to open it up and poke around on any website you visit. But here's the catch. Any changes you make using Inspect Element are purely temporary. They only exist on your screen, in your browser, and for your eyes only. The moment you refresh the page, all your edits vanish into thin air, and the website goes back to normal. Think of it like doodling a mustache on a photo in a magazine you own. It's fun, it's silly, but it doesn't actually change the original photo. And if you get a new copy of the magazine, your doodle is gone. The same goes for websites. Refresh, and your changes disappear. So if you change the price of a $700 PlayStation to $1 on your screen, it might look hilarious, but you can't actually trick the website into selling it to you for $1. The real transaction happens on the server, not on your browser. The real data, the stuff that matters, like prices, user accounts, and orders, lives safely on the website's server, far away from your browser's playful edits. Your changes don't touch the real thing at all. And here's a serious warning. Don't use Inspect Element to try and deceive people. Faking screenshots, spreading misinformation, or pretending you've hacked something can get you into real trouble. It's not just unethical, it could even be illegal, depending on what you do. Instead, use this tool for learning, experimenting, and having harmless fun. Maybe you want to prank a friend by changing the text on a website for a laugh. Or you're curious about how a web page is built. That's all fair game, as long as you're not hurting anyone or breaking any rules. If you're enjoying this breakdown and want to see more tech myths busted, tips revealed, and browser secrets explained, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more coming your way. Alright, now that we've got the ground rules out of the way and you know what Inspect Element can and can't do, let's roll up our sleeves and see what this tool is really all about. Ready? Let's jump in and explore the fun side of Inspect Element together. Inspect Element is a tool built into browsers like Chrome and Firefox. It's like X-ray vision for websites, letting you peek at the code behind the page. Right-click on anything, select Inspect, and you'll see the HTML and CSS that build the site. This tool is made for web developers to test and tweak their work in real time. You can change text, colors, or images just on your screen. It's a safe playground to experiment and learn how websites are built. Think of it as your first step into the world of web development. So, what's Inspect Element really good for? Pranks and laughs. Change a news headline to something wild, or make your friend's social feed say something hilarious. Edit the price of a luxury watch to $5 and watch your friend's jaw drop. But remember, it's all fake. Refresh, and it's gone. The real data is safe on the server. The fun is in the reaction, not in causing harm. Use it for harmless jokes, not to trick or mislead people. It's digital graffiti that disappears with a click. Enjoy the moment, then let it go. Meet Dave, an ordinary guy who's just starting to explore the world of computers and the internet. One evening, while sitting in his dimly lit room, Dave stumbles upon something that feels like a secret superpower: Inspect Element. For those who don't know, Inspect Element is a tool built into web browsers that lets you peek behind the curtain of any website and see the code that makes it tick. To Dave, it feels like he's just discovered a hidden doorway into the digital world. Curious and a bit mischievous, Dave decides to experiment. He opens up his favorite online game and notices his in-game currency is sitting at a measly 100 coins. With a few clicks and some quick edits in Inspect Element, He changes that number to nearly 1 million right there on the website. The numbers on the screen jump, and for a moment, Dave feels like a true hacker, like he's just pulled off a digital heist. Excitement rushes through him. He grins, thinking he's outsmarted the system. Eager to test his newfound riches, Dave heads straight to the in-game shop and tries to buy the legendary sword he's always wanted. But as soon as he clicks buy, an error message pops up. Insufficient funds. Confused, Dave wonders what went wrong. Didn't he just give himself 1 million coins? Determined to figure it out, Dave refreshes the page. Instantly, his balance snaps back to 100 coins, as if nothing ever happened. The illusion is shattered, and Dave is left scratching his head, realizing that his hack didn't actually change anything real. That's when Dave's tech-savvy sister walks in. She sits down beside him and patiently explains what happened. She tells him that by using Inspect Element, he only changed what was displayed on his own screen. Just the visuals, not the actual data stored on the game's servers. In other words, he only fooled himself. The real information, she explains, lives on the server, the powerful computers that run the game and keep track of everyone's progress. No matter what Dave changes on his own browser, the server still knows the truth about his real balance. It's a classic beginner's mistake, thinking you've hacked the system only to realize it's just a local illusion. Many newcomers to coding and web development fall for this trick at least once, believing they've found a shortcut, only to be brought back to reality. The real action, she continues, happens on the server side, not in your browser. The browser is just a window, showing you what the server wants you to see. If you want to make real changes, you'd have to interact with the server itself, a much more complex and challenging task. Dave didn't actually hack anything, but he did gain something valuable, a lesson in how the internet really works. He learned that what you see on your screen isn't always the full story, and that real power lies behind the scenes. This experience taught Dave that digital illusions are everywhere online. Just because something looks a certain way on your device doesn't mean it's true for everyone else, or that it's real at all. The front end, the part you interact with, is just the face of the website. The back end, hidden from view, is where the real decisions are made and the real data is stored. Understanding this difference is a key step for anyone learning about technology. Every web rookie has this aha moment. It's a rite of passage, a small embarrassment that leads to a much deeper understanding of how the digital world operates. For Dave, it was the day he thought he was a hacker, but ended up becoming a little bit wiser instead. To understand why Inspect Element isn't hacking, let's break down a website's anatomy. HTML is the structure, the bones of the site. CSS is the style, the paint and decor. JavaScript adds interactivity, the lights and plumbing. Your browser downloads these files to show you the page. Inspect Element lets you tinker with this local copy, not the original files. You're just doodling on your own version, not changing the real thing. The server keeps the master copy safe and untouched. That's the key difference between a trick and a real hack. You're playing in a sandbox, not breaking into the house. Let's uncover the real reason your changes to a website don't actually stick around. It all comes down to something called the client-server model, a fundamental concept in how the internet works, but one that's often misunderstood. This model is the backbone of every website you visit, every app you use, and every online service you interact with. Here's how it works. Your web browser, which is known as the client, sends a request to a remote computer called the server. The server is where the actual website lives, and it responds by sending a copy of the website's files, like HTML, CSS, and images, back to your browser. Your browser then displays this information so you can interact with it. Think of it like ordering a pizza from your favorite shop. The shop has its own recipe, and when you place an order, they make a pizza and deliver it to your door. Once it arrives, you can add your own toppings, maybe some pineapple or extra cheese, right at home. But no matter what you do to your own pizza, the shop's original recipe doesn't change. The next time you order, you'll get the same pizza as before, unless the shop itself decides to change the recipe. When you use tools like Inspect Element in your browser, you're essentially just adding your own toppings to your personal slice of the website. You can change the text, colors, or even hide elements. But these changes only exist on your computer. in your browser, and only for as long as you keep the page open. The moment you refresh the page, it's like ordering a brand new pizza from the shop. The server sends you a fresh, untouched version of the website, and all your personal changes disappear. You're back to the original recipe, just as the website owner intended. Now, if you wanted to actually change the website for everyone, altering the recipe at the source, that would mean breaking into the server itself. This is what real hacking is all about: bypassing security, accessing protected files, and making unauthorized changes. It's extremely difficult, illegal, and servers are heavily guarded with layers of security to prevent this from happening. So remember, Inspect Element is just a playground for your own experiments. It lets you see how things work and make temporary changes, but it never touches the real website that everyone else sees. The original site remains locked down and secure, protected by passwords, firewalls, and encryption. Only authorized people with the right credentials can make permanent changes. That's why any hacks or tweaks you make with your browser tools vanish the instant you reload the page. You're always getting a fresh copy from the server, untouched by your previous edits. In the end, it's all about understanding where the real data lives. The server holds the master copy, and your browser just gets a temporary version to play with. Knowing this is key to understanding how the web really works. So, what's the real value of Inspect Element? It's a powerful learning tool for anyone curious about web design. Peek under the hood of any site, see how it's built, and experiment safely. Aspiring developers use it to debug, test, and practice new ideas. It also helps you spot fake screenshots and digital tricks online. Use it to learn, not to deceive. Ethical use opens doors to real skills and opportunities. Curiosity and integrity go hand in hand in the digital world. So, can you hack a website with Inspect Element? Absolutely not. It's a myth, a fun illusion, not a real hack. You're just editing your local copy, not the actual site. Inspect Element is a tool for learning and creativity, not destruction. It's like a flight simulator for the web, safe to experiment, impossible to crash the real thing. Use it to understand, not to exploit. Next time someone claims they can hack with a right click, you'll know the truth. Stay curious, stay ethical, and keep learning. Subscribe for more tech myths busted and digital skills explained. Thanks for watching. See you in the next adventure, Cyber Network.